Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about something that feels a little old-fashioned in our instant gratification world. Patience. We want everything yesterday, right? Fast food, instant downloads, next day delivery. But I want to share a story with you. A story that completely changed how I see the act of waiting and revealed the incredible beauty hidden within patience. This story isn't about a famous person or a historical event. It's about an old man named Elias and his quiet, seemingly unremarkable garden. I met Elias when I was in my early 20s, buzzing with ambition and, I'll admit, a whole lot of impatience. I wanted success, and I wanted it now. I'd started a small online business, and when it didn't become a viral sensation overnight, I was frustrated, anxious, and ready to quit. One afternoon, feeling defeated, I went for a walk to clear my head and stumbled upon this incredible garden tucked away behind a simple wooden fence. It was an explosion of color and life. Flowers I couldn't name grew next to sprawling vegetables, and the air was thick with the scent of herbs and damp earth. An old man with kind eyes and hands covered in soil was carefully tending to a small, leafless sapling. That was Elias. I complimented his garden, and he invited me in. I couldn't help but vent my frustrations to this gentle stranger. I told him about my business, my dreams, and my feeling that I was failing because things weren't happening fast enough. He listened quietly, nodding, without a hint of judgment. When I was done, he didn't offer me business advice. Instead, he pointed to the little stick he was watering. "What do you see?" he asked. I saw a twig. A bit of dead wood, maybe. I told him so. He smiled and said, "I see a cherry tree. I see shade on a hot summer day. I see blossoms in the spring that will take your breath away. And baskets of sweet, dark cherries in July." He explained that he had planted that sapling from a seed years ago. For a long, long time, it was just a tiny sprout. Seasons passed. Other plants in his garden grew, bloomed, and were harvested. But the cherry tree took its time. It spent years developing a strong root system underground, unseen, where all the important work was happening. If I had dug it up every week to see if it was growing, he said, I would have killed it. Its strength came from being left alone to do its work in the dark. That hit me like a ton of bricks. My business, my goals, my personal growth, they were like that sapling. I was so focused on the visible results, the blossoms, the fruit, that I was forgetting the crucial, invisible work happening beneath the surface. Every blog post I wrote that only got a few views, every new skill I was learning, every small connection I made, that was me building my roots. I was so busy looking for the fruit that I was tempted to yank the whole project out of the ground. Elias then showed me another part of his garden. It was a patch of bamboo! He told me a fascinating fact about a certain type of bamboo. After you plant the seed, you see nothing for the first year, nothing for the second year, nothing for the third or fourth year. You water and you wait. For 4 years, you pour your effort into a patch of dirt with no visible reward. It's an exercise in pure faith. Then, in the 5th year, something magical happens. The bamboo shoot breaks through the ground, and in a period of just 6 weeks, it can grow up to 90 feet tall. 90 feet in 6 weeks. But was it fast? Or did it take 5 years? Of course, it took 5 years. For 4 years, it was spreading its roots, creating a foundation so powerful it could support that explosive growth. Without the long, patient waiting period, that incredible surge would be impossible. I started visiting Elias in his garden regularly. Each visit was a lesson in patience. I watched him meticulously save seeds from his best tomatoes, not to plant the next day, but to dry and store for the following year. He explained that a good harvest isn't just a one-season event. It's the result of foresight, care, and a deep understanding of natural cycles. He couldn't rush the sun or hurry the rain. He had to work asterisk with asterisk time, not against it. He taught me that patience isn't passive waiting. It's not about sitting around and doing nothing. It's an active, engaged state. It's the quiet confidence to keep water in the soil when you can't see the sprouts. It's the discipline to keep learning, practicing, and refining your craft even when no one is watching or applauding. It's the wisdom to know that some things, the most beautiful and enduring things, simply cannot be rushed. Think about the greatest achievements in human history. The grand cathedrals of Europe weren't built in a decade. They took generations. The builders who laid the foundations knew they would never see the completed spire. They were working for a future they wouldn't be a part of. That's a profound form of patience and faith. A great novel isn't written in a weekend. A masterful skill isn't acquired in a month. A deep, trusting relationship isn't formed after a few conversations. They all require time, nurturing, and the grace to let things unfold naturally. I took Elias's lessons back to my own life. I stopped checking my business stats every 5 minutes. Instead, I focused on the daily, worthy watering. I focused on creating the best content I could, on providing real value to the few people who were paying attention. I started celebrating the small, unseen progress. Learning a new software, getting a positive comment, finishing a difficult task. I started building my roots. And slowly, so slowly, I almost didn't notice it, things began to change. My audience grew. My skills improved. Opportunities started to appear. It wasn't an overnight explosion like the bamboo, but a steady, strong growth, like Elias's cherry tree. A few years later, that little business had blossomed into a stable, fulfilling career. And I can tell you, the success felt so much sweeter because I knew the years of patient, unseen work that went into it. The beauty of patience is that it allows for depth and strength. It creates resilience. When you've spent years building strong roots, you're not easily toppled by the first storm that comes your way. When you understand that growth is a process, you don't panic during the inevitable slow seasons or setbacks. You trust the process. You know that winter is just as important as spring for the health of the garden. So, whatever you're working on right now, personal goal, a creative project, a new career, or maybe healing and growing as a person, I want to encourage you to be like Elias in his garden. Be patient with yourself. Honor the unseen work. Keep watering the soil, even when you see nothing but dirt. Trust that beneath the surface, your roots are growing strong, preparing you for the incredible growth that is to come. Don't dig up your seed to see if it's sprouting. Give it time, give it care, and have faith in the process. The most beautiful blossoms and the sweetest fruits are always worth the wait. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this story brought you a little bit of inspiration. If you enjoyed it, I'd be so grateful if you'd hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories and thoughts on living a more meaningful life. Take care and be patient with your journey.